Welcome, reading number 4. I just want to preface by telling you that when I started working, there weren't a lot of people on the farm, and right now, like kind of maybe 20 feet from me, there are horses being trained. So I apologize if you hear, things. Hopefully you'll just hear fun like neighs or something like that. But maybe you won't hear anything. Hopefully you won't. But all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, they were so loud. I was like, what's happening? So welcome to your reading. The ant also came back. Those of you who watch these readings, welcome back and welcome to the new subscribers. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys subscribing and liking and sharing. Also, don't forget, I'm now on TikTok. I'm doing daily readings on TikTok. They're really fun. They're short, little fun readings, up to 3 minutes. I, of course, like to do my little shorts here on YouTube, but the TikTok ones are a little more in-depth and intense. So if you're looking for more than just like a little card flip for a minute, a short little message, daily message, follow me on TikTok. All the links are in my information below in the description box. Also, I have to tell you that every pile, you're the fourth pile, every pile, I live on a dead-end road, and there has been like cars like flying up and down. I don't know what's going on up there today, but they're like flying up and down like we don't live on a dead-end road. So I feel like Spirit is really trying to tell us all to slow down. Slow it down. I know that we're in the waxing crescent energy. I understand we're in the setting intention phase and we're all raring to go, but we are also in a very, very heavy, heavy eclipse season. The full moon in Scorpio is around the corner. So is Mercury going into retrograde. So there is a lot happening. A lot. So you do not have to go balls to the wall. Especially, it doesn't matter if you're in the northern or the southern hemisphere. It's like we're smack dab in spring now, just like we are smack dab in fall in the southern hemisphere. So, it takes time, until we finally get that sun energy. But yeah, that ant is relentless. It came back to this reading, not every pile. It was really interesting. And it's just the one, the solo. I don't know what the story is, but it's awesome. So definitely want to work with that. But today, if you didn't watch the reading for the collective at the beginning, I highly recommend you do. But if you don't, the title of this reading was The Law of Least Effort. Meaning, like, just because we're setting intentions, it doesn't mean, like I said, we don't have to go balls to the wall. You can do it in slow increments. And the album that I got this meditation off of from Deepak Chopra is the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. And the 3 that Spirit really wanted us to focus on in this waxing crescent energy is acceptance, responsibility, and defenselessness. And when we have responsibility for ourselves, no blame on another person, no blame on ourselves either. Like, right? Like we did that. We chose to do that. Like that's what happens when we do things. So these are the outcomes, right? But also in the defenselessness, we have to learn to be vulnerable right now. And the acceptance is love. We need to love as much as we possibly can right now, even though I'm with you. It is tough. It is hard. The energy is pretty intense. And if you're somebody who is a Scorpio or has Scorpio heavy in your chart, or if you're you have people around you who have Scorpio or heavy Scorpio in their chart, it's just going to get more intense. And if you're an empath and a narcissist, yin and yang twin flame relationship, or even just a soulmate relationship, whether it's parents, family, friends, could even be an animal, just remember that everybody is affected by this energy differently right now, and some more than others. And some of the greatest like healers that I look up to, work with, whatever, people that I follow have been saying the same thing. Like, this is no joke. This is like things are getting uncovered. This is like, if you need to make a change on something, if you don't, Spirit will do it for you. This is seriously like no joke right now. So, the law of least effort is just that. It's like, just be, he says somewhere in the meditation about a fish doesn't try and swim. It just swims, right? We don't try to breathe. We just breathe. The oxygen goes in and out, so when we try to keep forcing things, it's going to be more uncomfortable. We have to accept it as it is, even if it's ugly, even if it's gross. And we have to take our responsibility in it as well, whatever the situation is. What did we do or not do to lend to that chaos, or lend to that change, or lend, to whatever is going on. It's different for everybody. But we need to be vulnerable and say, listen, I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. We're all doing the best we can. We're all working from our own level of consciousness. I won't judge you. How about you don't judge me? Why don't we just, flow through this energy together as best we can? Also, for some of you, if you are into runes, or if your eyes keep coming to this, I have runes, but I don't read runes, but they were put in my pathway for others. So whatever this means, it's your homework to look up. If you're not into it, it doesn't mean anything. Okay? You take a screenshot of it. These were handmade by somebody. So sometimes when I go and look at the rune chart, I try and find the one that looks the closest, or the one at least I'm drawn to. Okay. That one was showing itself. So I'm going to leave it. Well, it wants to go down. And this one had a little glitter on it. So bring a little sparkle into the situation. You did after all pull the rainbow healing. And I feel like that's what you guys are. You're like these really powerful rainbow healers. How do you want to go? Sorry, I didn't mean to be so smacky on that noise. Okay, so let's read your card. This is from the Crystal Oracle, and it's Rainbow Healing. Today marks the start of a new beginning, a new way of looking at life and the world around you. Be it in dreams or through beautiful rainbows, you are being infused with light and blessings. Relax. Surrender your concerns to the universal light of love and allow this wondrous healing to occur. You will soon find that others are attracted to you. Many will come and seek your help and advice, for you are a beacon of light unto all. In the near future, you will empower others with your love and wisdom as you help them see their own inner light and beauty. You are a natural-born healer who heals through the power of love. Oh, I love you guys. I'm feeling fairy energy. So we have 2 decks outside of this one that wanted to work with us today. The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. And it's, yes, definitely based on the book, but it's an oracle deck. And then we're also going to read from the Answer is Simple deck. So let's see which one wants to speak to first. Rainbow healers. Also, I'm hearing like your rainbow children, star seeds. You guys are like my really powerful. Look at even just the way the light's hitting some of the rocks and the crystals. Like, look here. It almost looks like there's a little heart. Do you see that right there? There's like it looks like a little heart, the way that the amethyst is reflecting the light outside. Beautiful. Okay. Take bite-sized steps and also work with penguin spirit animal. So for some of you, if you've never been here before, whenever there are animals in our reading, I always take that 100% because I work with spirit animals. So I take that as that they want to work with you. And the penguin has so many beautiful different meanings that I'm not going to say them. I want you to research it on your own. You just type in penguin spirit animal and you'll get a plethora of different things come up in the search engine. Read one, read all, whichever one draws your attention. I usually ask my guides, like, just show me the first one, unless there's other ones you want me to see, but I'm always like, the first one's the best one for me, but it's different for everybody else. So 46 is also the number 10. So I feel like you guys are like, you've finally learned to step away from the crowd, that that you're magic, that you're a healer. If you haven't, you're thinking about it, pulling away from friends, family, situations, changing jobs, because with every fiber of your being that intrinsically you have something really special to do here. And Spirit's saying, yeah, you do. So you don't have time or the luxury to placate, handhold, you know what I mean? Like, this is time for you to move on. And also Spirit saying, remember that it's not always forever. Sometimes we just have to move on from people for a spell. Sometimes it's forever, but some people come into our lives for our whole lives. And some people come in for 5 minutes. Somebody in line, at the store could change your life with just the way that they spoke to you. Things happen so quickly. And also the main thing for this as well is take bite-sized steps. Put one foot in front of the other, right? It's like, take your time. You're going to get there, beautiful rainbow children. You're going to get there. Right now in this dark, dense energy, even my fairiest of fairies are really suffering right now. It is not an easy time. So Feel what you're feeling. Don't push it away. Feel it. I mean, you don't have to feel it every second. The thing that I was like, I like the darkness, right? Like we learn, we see things, right? Like even in the pictures, even now, like the stones look a little different, right? Now that I took the light out a little bit, the penguin seems to be almost glowing. When we change our perception, when we look at things from a different way, from a heightened perspective, when we start accepting instead of bargaining, when we start flowing instead of controlling, when we start loving instead of being like, you hurt me, no, I don't want to be friends with you, get out of here, move out, I hate you, blah, 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 right? We can still move on in a beautiful and loving and respectful way. We don't have to have hate in our hearts. Right now, Spirit is begging for us to be vulnerable and shine our light as bright as possible in this eclipse season. They know we're going through it too, but we have to keep each other, held up. We got to hold each other up. We got to embrace our differences. At the same time, we have to say, okay, you know what? I've tried. I'm going to go in this direction for a while. And at least maybe if I go in this direction for a while, I'll get a different perspective. Maybe it's something you can do temporarily. I was just saying that about myself in another reading. I'm like, okay, I'm going to call in the energies that if this is what's better for me, then let this come into my orbit. But if this is where I'm supposed to be and work through this, then, may I stay in this energy and work through it and come out on the other side a victor. Because this is a soul contract. That waxing crescent moon, he's got that little smile on his face because he's like, it's going to be okay. Like, I almost feel like this is like Spirit kind of like looking at you, like you're here and Spirit is like in the form of the moon, like Lilith. You may even be a moon sign, meaning like I was born on a Monday. They call it Moon Day. Look up. You can literally find exactly what day you were born. Say, what day was it on, I was born December 13th, 1971, and it comes up Monday, and they'll tell you, everything about it. They'll tell you what the weather was like. It's really cool to kind of see like what the day was like when you were born, when you incarnated. You're a light worker. You're a spirit warrior. This isn't your first time. You've done this before. Some of you, it might be your first time on Earth, but it's not your first time like out into the universe, spreading light, love, joy, healing energy. It's just all hands are on deck on Earth right now because as far as I can tell, like, it's like, do you remember in Ghost? If you've never seen Ghost, you must watch it. It's so good with Whoopi Goldberg, Demi Moore, and rest in peace, Patrick Swayze. Rest in power, you beautiful angel. Oh, the dance, the way he could dance. That butt, that little bum. Anyway, it's like, she's like trying so hard to like put it in like kind words to Molly. She's like trying to tell her like what's going on because, this ghost is like giving her information and she's like, well, I don't know what to say. She doesn't believe in this stuff. Like, what am I supposed to say? And then finally she just, when I looked down, it was 1313. Oh, for my witches. And all of a sudden she just looked at her and she goes, Molly, you in danger, girl. She's just like, you are in danger, girl. Like, she's just like, Molly, you in danger, girl. And she's like, what do you mean I'm in danger? And she's like, you're in danger. Like, seriously, like there's someone like coming to the house right now and I don't have time to blah, blah, blah. And she's like, we got to get you the fuck out of here. And so for some of you, if you're feeling that flame, if you're feeling that fire under your ass, like Spirit's saying, it's time to go, like you'll know when to go, should I stay or should I go now? You'll know. And also, it's hard, right? Being the one that's standing out from the crowd, the loner, the different one. Their size is different. Their color is different. That's growing up. I always knew I was weird. I didn't know. I could hear, see, feel, think. I didn't understand. I just assumed everybody around me was like me. And then slowly but surely I realized that they were not. And I learned at a very young age to, let the freak stay inside so I didn't scare people or, lose friends or, be made fun of or anything like that. And then over time, I realized I had to come out of my shell. I had to be the rainbow, and it's funny when I look back and I was a child of the 70s, like all of my clothes were like rainbows, unicorns, it was like the writing was on the wall. You know what I mean? 'Cause the writing's on the wall, right? Sam Smith. Oh, such a good song. Ugh. If you want to have a good cry and you want to like ask, like you want to do a meditation with spirit about whether you should stay or you should go, I'm going to put a link to that song below. And if I forget, then it's up to you to look for it. But it's Sam Smith, The Writings on the Wall. Because, you know, he's like, and I feel like a storm's a coming, right? So don't run from the storm, face the storm. Like them, right? It's almost like they're leaving because wherever they are, they're like, we got to keep going. We got to keep going. And they're like, I got to stay here. Another good analogy is in Lord of the Rings when they're, you know, they're in the, I forget the name of it, but they're underground, right? With, I forget anyway, but they're running from this entity and Gandalf is the wizard. He's the one, he's the strongest one. And he knows he's the only one. My throat chakra, because you know it's true. That's you, right? It's hard to believe you're that powerful as Gandalf, but you are. You are. You're special. You're special. You're special. You stand out for a reason, beautiful soul. You stand out. And, you know, it's like he says, go, go. And he's like, get out of here, you fools. And they're like, no. They're like, Gandalf. You know, they're like, they don't want him to, you know, and he's just like, you shall not pass, right? And he's like, because no, I'm going to protect my people. But he had to do it alone. They couldn't help him. Only he could do it. And I feel like that's you guys. And if you're not sure exactly like what your gifts are, what you're meant to do, let's get some clarifiers for you guys on this. Spirit, can we get some clarifiers for reading number 4? By the way, I love these like readings with their own links. It's so much better than piles. I kept trying to do what everybody else was doing, but I'm really digging this. Okay, we've gotten this card. This is like the 3rd reading now. So clearly, look at that. And now the light's shining on it. Share your gifts and look at how the light, I mean, I could have put the card a different way where it was over this one, who is the receiver. It's like, this is the giver. And I feel like spirit is like giving you the medicine so that you can bring it to other people. Do you see that? I mean, that's really powerful. Share your gifts. And look at them. They're like, they're chill. They're having a great time. They're like, yay, thank you. Yeah. Or maybe, you know, you're meant to like do gatherings, you know, like this. Because I'm hearing share your gifts, but no, let me push this over. Share your gifts. You know, maybe you're a Reiki healer, a crystal healer. It could be, let me see, is there, whatever it is, whatever struck a chord for you. I mean, literally, like whatever you heard or felt is, oh, look at this. Oh, butterfly spirit animal. Look it up. Beautiful. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, right? How a butterfly, you know, starts out as a caterpillar and then it goes into its, you know, little pupus where it becomes, it grows into this beautiful butterfly. But also spirit saying, you know, the ant came back in for a reason for all of us to have patience, because if you ever watch on YouTube or somewhere, watch the cycle of a butterfly, like have somebody, you know, where they kind of speed it up, but watch how much the butterfly has to struggle. Watch how much they have to struggle to pull themselves out of the cocoon. And not only do you not help them because they need, you know, to gain the muscle, right? Like if you pulled a butterfly out, they wouldn't be able to fly. When they're pulling themselves out of the cocoon, they get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And they take breaks and then they get stronger and stronger and stronger, right? And then finally, when they're ready, they pull themselves all the way out and they fly away. But down here, when they're still in caterpillar mode, right? They're like just becoming the butterfly. They're just becoming the butterfly. And they're like, wow, that's what I'm going to be? That's what I get to turn into? And Spirit's like, yes, that's exactly what you get to turn into. If you take bite-sized steps, one step at a time, one foot in front of the other, as Bob Wiley would say, and what about Bob? Baby stepping. I'm baby stepping. He's like, I'm doing the work. I'm baby stepping, right? But look at how they're looking to the light. They had me put the light down. See? Because it's about aspiring. It's going to take you a minute to get there. Even myself, you guys, I have been studying avidly for a decade. I have been avidly studying for over a decade, and I still every single day learn new things, change. You guys know, for those of you who have been following me, for a long time, or I literally started this channel not to get a million subscribers or whatever. I started this channel because I would do readings for people, and they're like, I wish there was a place like, I can just randomly go and get some bit of information from spirit from you, blah, 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 or you're a good teacher, blah, 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 blah. And so that's why this started. And then I started watching pick piles and all these things, and I was turned down to them. And then spirit, so now I'm realizing, like, this is what I do. They are piles of cards, but they're readings. And each one is individual. And I think it's best for you to have your own links so that you can go and you can chat. They're on private links. The main one obviously is on the public social platform, but all the readings, the 4 piles readings are, oh, look at that. I lost my flash. They're there for a reason. So look at this. This is so interesting. Okay. Because I was like, I'll go get my charger. They're like, nope, it's good. You guys get it. Plus, I can move it. I'm trying to think if I might move it. Hold on. See? We just had to get a different perspective. That's all. Okay, so do we have any more messages? Start anew, right? So it's time to start this practice. It's time to start anew. When I put this together, I literally wanted to do something lighthearted because the last few readings have been so fucking heavy, and I was like, we need some whimsy. I'm like, my fairy has been like, I've just been like this, like evil shit's like been spewing out of me, and I was like, wow. And then I'm seeing all these other readers and all these other people, and they're all in the same place, and I realized, okay. And so I said, can we gently and lovingly help people do it? So I'm glad. I kind of feel like the first reading was a little more heavy, and I feel like we've gotten lighter as we went along. So that's wonderful. Okay, here we go. Take no offense. Number 53. Take no offense. Do you see how the wheel is like shaking mud up? Like, she's just like, la, 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 what a beautiful day. I'm looking out the window, and he's like, hello, my lady, how are you? And all of a sudden, she goes away, and he's like, what the, right? Like, it's about to splatter him. That mud is about to splatter his ass. And he's like, are you kidding me? On my beautiful outfit, I just did my hair. I know they're wigs, but you know what I mean? And they're saying, you know what? Sometimes people, they don't mean to. They're not trying to. They're really not. That's the sad thing right now that I'm really noticing, is that people are not trying to be jerks or be, to piss you off or make you angry. It's quite the contrary. They just don't know what they're doing. So imagine how this energy is affecting you, and you're here, right? So if you're here, that means you're a light worker of some kind. You're a spirit warrior. You're a prophet. You've got something to do here, something to say, especially this pile. You guys are the rainbow children. You're my star seeds, my magicians. It's like you've got so much going on. So imagine how these people are feeling who are not woke, who don't know what's happening. They don't even know what's going on. They just think this is happening or that's happening, but they don't really know, right? Like, they're in the dark. They're in the dark back there. I was like, why would you have me put that one back there? But you're in the light. And so they're saying, now it's time for you to share your gifts. And if somebody is, if somebody's coming up and you're acting as a mirror for them and they're pissed off and they're being mean to you, they're like, just remember, some people, misery loves company. And that's a sad, unfortunate fact for some situations and some people, but that doesn't mean you have to stay there. And you can say, hey, let's do something fun. And you can be as lighthearted as you want to be. But if they just keep dousing your flame, that's when you go, you know what? Let's just hang out another time. I love you. And if they're like, oh, I'm sorry. I'd be like, it's okay. That's okay. Do what you got to do. I'm going to go, be over here because I want to stay in this energy. It doesn't make you an asshole because you don't want to be sad about what's happening in Europe. You know what I mean? It doesn't make you don't have to be pining for Johnny Depp and Amber Heard and like, wow, what's happening, right? Because that's like a crazy, insanely thing. Like, that's like the number one water cooler conversation, but it's good because it's making people talk. It's making them feel. It's making them think. It's making them connect all of these senses and these emotions, because that's what we need right now. And the darkness is where we find the light. So the next card is have fun. Yeah, have fun. Don't let people steal your thunder. Let them be in their sad bubble, you know, it's okay. They're going to come out of it. Everybody's going to come out of this. When this eclipse season is over, when Mercury goes direct, when June starts, we're all going to be feeling so much better. I promise you. You know, and there'll be more time for this, carnivals and fun things to go to and festivals, and the masks are off and we're all doing better now, right? So have fun. Have fun, have fun, have fun. Okay. Oh, here we go. And we're reading from the Four Agreements now that we're switching over. And if you've never read the book, I highly recommend you get it. You know, even if you just rent it from your library, please, 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 at least research the Four Agreements. If you want to get a really good oracle deck, this is the one to get. It's very inexpensive and it's got so many great things, like even just for like a daily, you know, message from spirit kind of thing. So the first one we got was replace fear with love. Be impeccable with your word. Replace fear with love. Yeah, so when these people, you know, it's like, don't take offense to things that they're doing or saying. Just love them harder, love them back, right? I know it's hard to take the high road all the time, but that's what you signed up for. Remember that. You're allowed to have bad days and get upset, but you don't have to be anybody's battering ram either. It says the human mind is like a fertile ground where seeds are continually being planted. When you are impeccable with your word, your mind is no longer fertile ground for the words that come from fear. Your mind is only fertile for the words that come from love. Also, you know, Sakuru has been really amazing lately. He's been putting out some really good stuff. And in the last Pick a Pile reading that I did, I posted in the bottom, there's a link, but you can look for it too. And he talks about how in India, people, he's like, you know, people, they don't touch you. He's like, because it's called, I forget the name of it. Please, for my yogis and those who, you know, my yoga people and those who follow those teachings of the East Indian philosophies and teachings. But basically what it means is that the fancy word that I can't remember is it's like, it's your chi, it's your energy. So you don't want to be giving your energy out like willy-nilly to just anybody. Oh my gosh, look at this. Now look at that. It's crawling on me. The ant. Patience, 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 patience. But they don't touch people because of energy. So he said, if you go to India, he's like, people will put their hands together and bow and they greet you. He's like, they don't shake your hands. They don't hug you. He's like, because it's energy. And we all carry different energy every day. And he spoke about how some yogis shower several times a day to like wash the energy off, and that we are all energy. So if we just keep, you know, it's like soot, right? It's like if you're in a town that has smog, or if you've ever, you know, experienced when a volcano erupts and you see like it can erupt and then like 20 miles away there's like soot, you know, or there's soot from a fire. But you know that like heaviness of soot? That's kind of how energy is. You need to blow it off. You can go outside and get a wind smudging and ask spirit to take it away. You can take a bath, you can take a shower, you can smudge yourself. But energy is a real thing. I mean, talk about sharing your gifts. It's a commodity. And those who have been controlling this planet for centuries know that. Like, they know all the things that make human ticks. They've been studying humans for centuries and centuries and centuries. That's why they're finding now, like, they're like, these glasses are from a tomb from, you know, 25,000 years ago, but these are modern. How did they know how to make these? You know what I mean? It's like, because they're realizing that Earth is just, oh, look at this light from spirit coming down, talking to you. Because they're, you know, people are realizing now that we've been sold a bad bill of goods, that the government and religion are tied together. You know, they wrote these books to keep us in line so that we'd be in fear. So that's why Spirit's saying, take this out of the darkness and replace fear with love, because that is what's the real deal right now. See how the light's going on that? So replace fear with love. Let me see. Do we want to go from the Four Agreements, or do we want to pull any? Let's see if they want to pull any more from the Answer Simple deck. Okay. Oh, decorate. We got this one in another pile as well. So this is for you, for your home. Do something really nice for yourself. Look at the fairies. And maybe it's time to change your outward appearance. And if you're not happy with it, change it back. I colored my hair a few weeks ago and I loved it. I loved it, loved it, loved it. And it was so cute, but it was fading really fast. And so I had kept a little bit of the color, and I went to put some more on, and it did not turn out the way it did before. And I'm not really happy with it. And I keep, every time I look in the mirror, I'm like, it just feels off and it feels weird. And then this morning Spirit was like, then color it a different color, or, you know, bleach it back. Like, who cares? It's just hair. And I'm like, no, because I just cut a bunch of my hair off. And so I was like, no. And they're like, so then you cut it shorter if it's fried out. Like, who cares? You know? And I realized they're right. Like, don't stay with something that doesn't feel comfortable to you. I'm using my hair as an analogy, but it's with anything, you know? And like, exactly, replace fear with love. It's like, what am I afraid of? Why don't I just change it back? I mean, so it's a little extra work, but now I got to see that color on me and realized I don't like that color on me. Sometimes it's trial and error. So, you know, decorate. Maybe it's time for you to change the decorations in your home. Bring more crystals and stones. You're rainbow children. You know, you come from outer space, you know, like I'm talking Arcturians, Lyrians, Syrians. I'm like, there's so many Pleiadians, you know. I just feel like you guys are old school too. Like you know, you haven't been doing this long here, I feel like, for some of you, but you have definitely been doing this for a really long time. So any more messages from the answer is simple, because I'm feeling more from the 4 agreements, but I'm also feeling like there's some that want to come out here. Okay. Also, it's not an emergency. For some of you, I'm hearing that you want like a quick fix, or like, I don't know, whatever this is. This applies to more than one person, I feel like, but it definitely feels like some of you are like wanting or longing for like a quick fix or a change. And they're like, it takes time. Like maybe you want to remodel your home. Well, if you want to start new and you want to remodel your home, you want to decorate it, you want to make it different, it takes time, right? If you want to gut your kitchen, you better be ready to not eat out of your kitchen for several months, because, you know, if the contractor tells you 2 months, it's probably going to be 4, you know? So they're saying like, you know, just prepare yourself and take your time, just like the butterfly. It's not an emergency. You're not going to die. Nobody's going to die. The world's not going to blow up. Everything's going to be okay. You're going to be all right. I find it interesting that the color is so muted right now. But they're really trying to tell you that there's no fear. And it's the fear that I feel like is driving some of you guys. And they're saying it's the fear that's actually stopping you from achieving what you really want to do. Oh, another one that came up in one of the other piles. Invest in your spirit. It's getting really dark where I live. A storm's coming in. Invest in your spirit. It's number 45, which is the number 9. And I also like that it's 4, 5. And when we have over decorate is 50. They're like all, look at this. We've got 1. I want to see, hold on. I want to see what numbers you guys have. By the way, when I paused, I just realized it was at 32. But when I started, I know it's hard for you guys to see. I apologize, but we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like, so obviously like Spirit's saying, stay focused. We've got all of those numbers present. So they're telling you it's to stay focused. Just stay focused. You guys are doing a really good job. You're doing better than most. And they said, if you're like, what? And you're like, I'm doing better than most. You're like, yes, exactly. So think of it that way. If you're doing better than most, then think about like how rough it is out there. But you're doing better than most. So, you know, it's okay to take the high road, because that's what you signed on to do here. So we've got always do your best, one of the 4 agreements. Do your best because you want to. Yes, not because you have to, because you want to. And let's go to the back of this card. You know what? Hold on. Okay, I'm losing light and I'm losing battery. I can barely see my screen. I'm at 5%. Okay, it says, you do your best when you are enjoying the action or doing it in a way that will not have negative repercussions for you. You do your best because you want to do it, not because you have to do it. Not because you are trying to please the judge, and not because you are trying to please other people. Yes. Do your best because you want to. Because you want to. That's beautiful. Okay. And then your last card is... Oh my gosh. Look at that. I mean, I hadn't seen it yet. It was underneath the... I like to be surprised too. It's fun. But look at this. Don't make assumptions. Let your life be transformed. Come on. Seriously? Hold on. This is when I love when we use multiple decks, because it's like, what? You know what I mean? Like, what? It's so cool. I love it. I wish we had better lighting. And I can't even see it, so hopefully you guys can see it. And let me read the back of this. But I mean, we were just talking about that, right? And look at, he's there too. And look at his cute little face. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. He's like, I'm going to be like you. And that's the same thing. They're saying the same thing. So it says, when you stop making assumptions, your word becomes impeccable and your life is completely transformed. Magic just happens in your life. What you need comes to you easily because spirit moves freely through you. Oh, I love it. Oh, you guys. And look at all that, like the flying energy too. Like Spirit's saying, you know, you're afraid to jump out of the nest, and they're saying, we got you, we got you, we got you. That's why they brought you these energies of flying. And also as a nurturer, you know what I mean? But again, the oxygen mask theory, you can't help other people if you're not doing well. Look at how healthy that bird is. You need to be healthy to be able to take care of other people. So just remember, nothing's an emergency. Nothing's an emergency. Do we want any more messages? Do we have any more decks, Spirit? Do you want to pull any more cards before we go? Oh, I feel like they want me to pull another for the 4 agreements. Hold on. Okay, we only have a little percent, so I'm not sure what they want me to pull here, but oh, no, another one that came in with some of the other ones. Again, I don't know if you can see this. I hope you can. It says, be impeccable with your word. Oh my gosh, I love it. Let go of self-judgment and blame. We were just talking about that, right? With blame. That's what Deepak Chopra was saying. No blame, right? Taking responsibility, accountability. Being impeccable, you take responsibility for your actions, but you do not judge or blame yourself for anything. No. Life's too short for that kind of crap. That's literally what I feel like from Spirit. Like, life is too short for that. Are there any more messages? Communicate with clarity. If it cuts off, it cuts off. Communicate with clarity. Don't make assumptions. And look at that. Another light on the subject. And this one says, communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstanding, sadness, and drama. If all humans would communicate with impeccability of the word, all of our relationships would change. There would be no wars, no violence, no misunderstandings. That's so true. Oh my gosh, Spirit, is that it? I feel like that's it. Yep, those are your messages, beautiful souls. You got this, you got this, you got this. Communicate clearly. Let your life be transformed and do your best because you want to. Share your gifts. Don't worry so much about what's going to happen in the after, you know. Focus on the moment, on the now. Is that it, Spirit? Okay. And all of my information is in the description box below if you would like to purchase a recorded personalized reading for yourself, or if you'd like to book a one-on-one session with me. All of that information is below. Just email me at themagicalmedium@gmail.com, and I will see you at the next reading. Thank you so much. Oh, also thank you to the new subscribers and the donations. I really appreciate you guys. It does help more than you possibly know. Thanks for getting us on the map. We love you so much. We'll see you next time. Blessed be. Oh.